You're listening to Drummer Daily, the only daily podcast dedicated just to drummers, for a free video series explaining how you can become rock solid at playing drums with a click track in just 2 weeks in as little as 20 minutes per day. Visit boomclick.net. Hey there, welcome back to Drummer Daily once again. Hey, before we get started, I just want to stop and say thank you for listening. I know that you don't have to listen to this podcast, but you've chosen to. And we are all only given a certain amount of time, a very limited amount of time on this planet. And I know that time is a very precious resource. And so the fact that you choose to spend 10 minutes a day with me, or however often you listen to this, really means a lot to me. And so I just want to tell you thank you for listening. So today, I'm starting out a new week of podcasts today, and I've got something I've got a cool week of podcasts planned, but today I want to ask you a question. And the question is this: what is drumming costing you? Or what does drumming cost you? And the question that the way I want you to think about this is, it might be money. It might be, obviously, you some of us have a gear addiction where we just want more and more stuff. We buy more gear, so those cymbals or those drums or those, whatever it is, the things that you've added to your drum kit, those of course cost money. And so that of course can be part of the answer to this. But what else is it costing you? And I mean this from a time perspective, from a discipline perspective, because, so think about it this way: what if you choose to, spend 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, 10 minutes, 5 minutes a day practicing drums, or learning how to tune drums better, or learning how to mic up your drums better, or whatever it is, the part of the aspect of drumming that you currently has your attention. If you spend that time each day, what are you not doing? If the answer to that question is, I don't have anything else to do, so I'm just drumming, that means you probably need to spend more time drumming, or maybe find some other hobbies. But seriously though, what I think is, I think that when anything we do costs us something, it has more value to us, and we actually use it more, do more with it. So to give you a concrete example, it is a commonly held belief or thought in the music business that playing free shows is never fun for the band. And of course, there's a lot of reasons why, but the big reason is, it's strangely enough, the first reason is no one shows up to free shows. And so most of the time, no one shows up. The reason why no one shows up is this: if it's free, no one has to make a commitment ahead of time to go. They can just show up, and there's no money, there's nothing out of their pockets. So when a show is free, when I'm not buying that ticket, there's no, I personally, if I'm thinking about a show, I can put off my decision to go until, 2 minutes before it starts if I live close, or whatever it is. And then it's easy to get lazy and not show up, and whatever, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, that same show could happen, and if it costs $10 to go to that show, then I know that there's a limited number of tickets, number of people are going to come. I don't know if anyone else has bought tickets yet, so I don't know if it's going to sell out. So I have to make a decision sooner. I have to go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to commit that money, and then I know that if I don't go to that show when the day comes, then I'm out that money. I've missed out. And so if I've already bought the ticket, I am much more motivated to go no matter what happens. Whereas if I didn't pay anything, I may not show up. So automatically, just by paying for it, I have decided that it is more valuable to me. Now, and I don't mean that, and of course it's more valuable because I paid for it. That's why I already think it's more valuable. Even if I had the same amount of motivation to go to that show that I would if it was free, if it was one of my favorite bands, and I'd say, man, I don't care if it cost me $100 to go or it was free, I'm going either way. whatever reason it is, when you pay for it, you still have more motivation to go. I guess I shouldn't say whatever reason it is, because there's a very obvious reason, is that you don't want to be out that money if you don't go. So in the same way, drumming, when it costs you something, when you've committed something to drumming, whether it's time or money or whatever else we talked about, then it will change how you practice, how you play, whatever that part of drumming is that is costing you something. It will change what you do with it. When I got this new drum set, you better believe I was up here every day, as much as possible, in the studio playing it. I'm sitting behind it right now, just looking at it, because I feel like I'm recording a podcast, but I feel like I need to enjoy this amazing instrument that I have. And so I'm just sitting here looking at it while I'm talking to you. So anyway, just look at your drumming and ask yourself, what is it costing you? And maybe if it's just time, like I said, and you don't have anything else to do, and that's, what is something else? Even if you don't have to, what is one little thing you can sacrifice in the name of maybe practicing a little bit more? Think about that, because that could actually unlock some really cool things in your drumming, or some really new perspectives on how important this really is to you, or maybe how you'd like to make your career or your drumming as a whole progress in the future. Incidentally, that's also why I have the Boom Click Bootcamp, which is for helping you play with the click track. That's why I charge money for people. It's because of course I've invested a lot of resources into making it, but I want people to cost people something, because I actually care about people getting the result from it. As hard as that may be to me to believe, I actually care whether people get the results that I'm promising and the results they want out of the program. And I just know that if you don't pay for something, you're not going to be committed to follow through on the 14 days that it is. So that's not really a plug for the program, but if that sounds interesting to you, it's a plug for the program. Check it out, boomclick.net. Anyway, that's it for today. Just ask yourself what your drumming is costing you. And if it's not costing you anything, maybe amp it up a little bit. And maybe if it's costing you too much, examine your priorities and see if maybe is drumming something that it's just a compulsion for you? Is it a way of escaping from something that maybe you shouldn't escape from, or you shouldn't ignore? Or is it something that is a positive thing in your life and is a good thing and you can give more time to? All right, I will talk to you again tomorrow. Thank you again for listening. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for emailing me and all the encouragement and liking my Facebook page and commenting on there. I read everything. I reply to everything. Thank you. It really means a lot that you spend your time with me. All right, bye.